Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here with us on XY Spark. This is your boy Rolando. We are so glad that you continue to participate in our program. We're happy that you have been following us and liking and sharing. And we're happy too that you have been subscribing to our program. And last evening we had an amazing guest. We had an amazing guest last evening. We had Frederick Beatty, who was with us last night. Frederick Beatty was here and he shared about how mental health has impacted him and what he had to do as a male in order to get help. And that was our Black History Month special. And we just want to send a shout out to Frederick as well for he came in and he really brought his story. And we just thank all of you that continues to subscribe and like and share in our discussion. This afternoon, we have a very special guest who is going to be with us as well. I'm going to introduce her to you in a little while, but just before I introduce her, please let's just play our intro and then we'll come back and introduce you to our guest. Stay tuned, guys.
Grief and loss, trauma, mental health, alcohol and drug use, gender roles, anger management, self-esteem, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and the pressures of societal norms are real-life issues that affect men. Join Rolando, psychotherapist, author, life coach, and motivational speaker that has dedicated his profession to working with men to find a healthier alternative to cope and handle these stressors. Rolando believes that men are lacking in social, psychological, emotional, and spiritual support that is necessary for a lifestyle that promotes healthy masculinity. We invite you to join us on XY Spark, where we discuss issues that men face. At XY Spark, we believe the key for happier families is restoring healthy masculinity.
Okay, it's great to be with you. And as I said earlier, this afternoon, we hope that you all fasten your seatbelts. We hope that you're ready to get some tips from an expert in the area. This afternoon, we are going to be talking about relationship improvement techniques and how that is going to help to empower us as men to practice healthy masculinity. This afternoon, we have a wonderful human being with us. She is a relationship coach, and believe it or not, she works with men. And so we know that she's here just to say, hey, you know what? I want to be a part of the XY Spark shift in the mentality. I want to help empower some more males. And so this afternoon, we have none other than Jeanelle Greene, who has joined us to be our guest. Jeanelle, good afternoon and welcome.
Well, that was quite the introduction. Thank you, Rolando. So great to be here with you and everybody else listening in.
Janelle, you know what? We're excited to have you. We see people are starting to come into the room right away. Janelle, when I connected with Janelle, guys, I wanted you to know Janelle, she has a very contagious personality. You can't help but listen to her. You can't help but sharing that contagious laughter that she has. And she has decided to come and bring some light and some spark to XY
Mm,
Spark this afternoon. And so, Janelle, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
absolutely. Thanks, Rolando. Well, as you mentioned, I am a relationship coach and advisor for men. And a lot of times I get the question, why men? We see a lot of women supporting women and men supporting men. And for a woman to support men is a kind of different and unique. And really, I would say there's sort of two reasons why I decided to focus on men. Number one, I saw that there's a huge gap. What I
Mm.
really discovered is men love their partners. They want to be in a loving and healthy relationship.
Hmm.
And when there's breakdowns, I would do some market research and I would ask guys like, so when you're in a situation with your wife, you're having an argument and things aren't going great, where do you go for resolution? Where do you go so that you can get the advice or the support so that whatever just happened doesn't happen again? And the majority of the people that I spoke to said they don't do anything. They kind of
Wow.
bottle it up. They go to their son's room or their child's room and they just try to like check out and try to, calm down. A lot of them, might Google. But really, there isn't this like space that they can go because, my clients say, Jeanelle, what do I do? She says she doesn't love me. I'm afraid she's going to leave, but I have no idea what the heck she wants from me. I can't.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty yeah, that's pretty intense, Janelle. And you hear
It
this a
is.
lot.
Yes, absolutely. And I would say the second reason why I do what I do is because I have the most magical, beautiful, blessed marriage for the past 15 years. I have been madly in love with the same man for 15 years, and we are absolutely crazy about each other. And really, what I'm committed to is that people get that you can have that kind of relationship even after you've been together for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You can still have the passion and the love and the fun and the joy no matter how long it's been and no matter if you have kids or you can always when there's a will there's a way.
So
And
you're
even
saying,
mhm,
Janelle, I'm sorry, I heard you say something and I butt in because
yeah,
you said three things that are so critical. You said you're still madly in love now, whoever your husband is, guys, I just wanted to take this time to acknowledge that he's doing something right.
yes,
Because
he
Janelle is
is.
saying she's still madly in love. So kudos to him. And we hope he can come on XY Spark and share what are those things that he's been doing that makes his wife
Yes.
come and say, I'm still madly in love. But you also said
Ah,
another thing, which is so critical. Are you saying that it's possible for us to have love in a relationship when we have kids? That's like unheard of. Kids, they
I
take so much
know.
time. We're not spending enough time with each other. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say that a lot of couples use children as the reason why they cannot have magical relationships because they're too
Mm,
busy. But I think you just got to decide that this is just is maintaining a strong relationship. And I think what a lot of men don't understand is that women, we don't need grand gestures. We don't need elaborate gifts. What really matters to us are the little details. My husband brought me a coffee while I had an early morning meeting today. I didn't have time to grab a coffee. And just him bringing me a coffee, my heart just like exploded because I really got that he was in service of me and he really wanted me to win today so that I was
mm-hmm,
awake. I'm here. Even just, my husband would text me, you are so beautiful or I love you so much, just random. And that
mm,
to me just means so much. So I just really want to tell guys that it doesn't, you don't have to, spend a lot of, mental energy or money to make your woman feel loved and cherished.
mm, I'm taking notes, Janelle. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. I'm taking
Yeah.
notes. I'm not inviting you here and say, hey, I want to my listeners to start practice healthy masculinity. I also want to improve and practice healthy masculinity, and so that's important to know. So you're saying that I don't need to have $1 million and buy my wife the most expensive house and get her the most expensive jewelry. I can do small things and she'll appreciate it because Janelle, I'm going to tell you, I'm hearing you here, but there may be ladies who for them that's no, he has to come good all the time. He has to do something big all the time or he's failing. And just last night, Janelle, for example, my guest, he spoke about the idea that sometimes men have emotional needs in their relationships and
Mm-hmm.
the women are not recognizing that because they feel that they're the only ones who should be able to express emotions in their relationships. So, how does someone balance that out?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I'm not quite sure what you're asking me.
Yeah, so I'm saying, as you talk about men doing those small little gestures,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there are some women who, for them, small gestures are nothing. They need to see him come big all the time. So how do we
Mm.
help a guy who's in a relationship where that's the mindset of his partner?
Well, I would challenge that. I would challenge that. I would say that if a woman is expecting big things, there's something underneath that she's
Mm,
actually not coming straight with. And listen, there are women out there, like if you guys have read the book, The Five Love Languages, I highly recommend it. And there are women that do, their love language is gifts. They like to be given things. However, it doesn't have to necessarily be these like big trips, big cars, big, jewelry. It could be something as simple as like a love note, a card, and I don't want to say flowers and chocolate because that's way overdone, but be creative. My husband makes songs for me. He will
mm,
turn on the radio, and he loves Curtis Mayfield, he loves, Al Green, and he will replace my name inside the song. And for me, that is kind of like a gift. But I would just challenge that because what I hear is men assume this. They go, "Oh yeah, my wife, sure, she likes that, but there is probably something else that you are missing, that you're not paying
mm,
attention to because you've assumed that this is what she wants." And you know what? Hey, I love jewelry too. I love nice things, but that's not what I need to feel loved.
mm.
And I feel like, go ahead.
So, Janelle, let me ask you this. What are some of the barriers that you find a lot of men face in relationships that is causing some of the challenges that's going on right now?
hmm Well, so here's my take on healthy masculinity. Okay. This is just my own opinion. I believe that you got to love and accept yourself first and foremost before you can do that for somebody else and the other people in your life. You also want to notice, what do you do to pull yourself away from love rather than moving towards love? Many men, when they get confronted, they shut down, right? They disconnect, they shut down, they put up the walls, and the woman's knocking on the wall saying, "Hello, let me in." And he's just like, he's already put up the gate and the lock. I would also say, being a leader, being a leader in your relationship. We're kind of in this very confusing time, and I so appreciate what men are dealing with right now because we're kind of going through this time where women, it's women empowerment, feminism. I'm independent. I don't need a man. This whole thing that's going on, the Me Too campaign. But really, I think it's all a cover up. I don't think there's. I think it's inauthentic. I think every woman secretly wants a man to be her rock, to be her hero. Like, I'm a very strong woman. I made more money than my husband. I've always been very independent. I'm very intelligent. I love to say I can do anything. And when my husband, who is extremely old fashioned and very chivalrous, will want to do things for me, I kind of push him away. I'm like, no, 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 no. I can do that myself. For example, I'm 4'11". My husband is 6'1", and we have these tall shelves in our kitchen. And he'll see me getting the step ladder to climb onto the counter so that I can get something high up. And he'd say to me, "What are you doing? Get down there. Get down from there. Let me do that." And I would say, "No, honey, I want to do it myself." But secretly, I don't want to do it. I actually want him to come and interrupt and say, "Honey, I'm your man. Let me do this for you."
Janelle, Janelle, you are saying this. I want to say you better be happy that a majority of our listeners are males, because I'm here thinking if some females were hearing you now, we are in this postmodern age, the independence of women. A lot of women would probably be rushing at you,
Oh,
by
yeah.
asking you, "Are you crazy?" I mean, it takes a
Yep.
lot of guts to say that, because
Yep.
realistically, a lot of men struggle in their relationships because it's hard to go up against that. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women are thinking, if I'm like that, I'm going to be preserved. I'm going to be perceived rather as weak. I'm going to be
Hmm.
looked at as I'm not. So how does a guy get around that? Because as a therapist, Janelle, a lot of that is going on now in a lot of homes. And
Yeah.
you're saying, and your name calling, I say you have a lot of guts. You're talking about the Me Too movement and feminism and all those pieces. And I hear you're calling out some people there about the idea. I mean, how do we help men? I love what you said. You said number one, you have to love and accept yourself, and you have to stop putting up walls. These things are so critical. Tell us some more about that, please, if you can.
Wow. Well, here's the thing, guys. Women, we we so badly want to connect with men, and we're such different creatures, right? And so I think it's, first of all, like, appreciating how different we are. I find a lot of times we use our differences as something that's negative, but I want to
Mm,
challenge everyone to actually look at your differences as a blessing, is for you to learn something from that person. Me and my husband are complete opposites. I am an
mm-hmm,
extrovert, he's an introvert. He's an IT shy guy, super
mm-hmm.
easygoing. I'm like super intense. He's the most patient human being. God did not give me that did not give me that virtue. But we balance each other out. And so I think,
Mm.
and I think men have to appreciate too, is that women have, and they're bringing that into the relationship. And what's so,
I'm sorry, Janelle. I'm sorry, you cut out there a little bit. You said women have, and you cut it there a little bit. Can you repeat that for us?
um,
You said women have something in particular. I'm sorry, but you cut out there a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's an internet issue or what, but we didn't get what you said women have.
uh, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay,
But I
okay.
but I but I would just say that women have this basic need of feeling safe and feeling like they can trust their partner.
Mm,
And so whenever that is not there, that's when she starts to make up that he doesn't care. So women,
mm,
we have this thing, it's like we're always trying to prove ourselves, we're always like feeling not enough. And that's why we go to our husband to kind of make us feel better. Tell me I'm beautiful, tell me I'm appreciated, tell me that I'm being loved, right? I don't know if you've ever
mm-hmm,
had that, Rolanda, when the woman's like, do you
mm-hmm.
love me, do you love me, are you sure
Yeah.
you love me,
Oh
can
yeah.
you prove
Oh
it,
yeah.
right? That is what's running the show. And so when a woman comes to you and says, honey, I need to talk, or oh, I just had the worst day, and she just starts venting, that is her saying, I want to connect. But a lot of men will
Mm-hmm,
take that like, oh crap, she's going to, vent, and I'm gonna feel like I'm being attacked. So I'm gonna just shut down right now. And then
mm-hmm.
while I'm at it, I'm gonna try to fix and change her and tell her what she's doing wrong. And then
Wow.
men wonder why women are frustrated, why she says that he doesn't love her. Because he doesn't get, like, she just wants to feel heard. She just wants to come to you and feel safe. And for you to say, darling, whatever happened in your day, I got your back. I'm here with
Hmm.
you. I feel your pain. I understand you. But the mistake that men do is they do the opposite. They're just like, well, here's what you did wrong, and you shouldn't have done that, and here's what you need to do now. And she just, like, rolls her eyes, throws her hands up in there, goes, you're not listening to me. And then she walks
Mm.
away feeling unloved, unheard, and that she doesn't trust the person that she loves the most. And that
Oh
can be
wow.
very, very painful for a woman.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. That's important information. So are you saying then that we need to slow down as men and be quiet a little bit more in order to meet our partners where they're at?
Yes. And listen, guys, women don't want you to fix her. They don't want you to change her. They don't want your advice. And my husband actually asked me this. He goes, how do I know if you want my advice? I said, I will ask you. I will
Mm.
ask you. And sometimes what I might do is, if my husband, if the roles are reversed, and he starts, I can hear he's upset, I'll actually stop him and I'll say, honey, are you telling me this because you want advice, or are you telling me this because you just need to outflow? You just need to like let it out. And he'll say, I just
Hmm.
need to let it out. Okay, great. So I know how to listen. I sit there and I nod and I show empathy and I got it, honey. I'm sorry you had a bad day. But he says, honey, I need your advice. Okay, I'm gonna listen from a different place. And man, guys, if you can be that, and if you can actually encourage that, oh, really, darling, what else is there for you? Is there anything else you want to say? Is there anything else you want to? Until she's completely dried up, guys, this is money. And you guys are probably thinking like, what? But I didn't do anything. Exactly. You just need to listen. She just needs to get that you are listening to her and that you feel her pain. That's all she wants from you. You know, reverse it. Do you guys like it when your woman gives you advice and tries to fix you? No, we are the same way. We just want to be loved and accepted for who we are and who we are not.
But Janelle, I tried to push this question in there early, and I'm glad you said
Yeah.
what you just said because I'm going to reiterate it, which is our guest last evening spoke about the idea that from his own experience, there are some men who their partners don't understand what it looks like to provide that space for men versus
Mm.
men sometimes provide that space for their women, but then the
Mm-hmm.
men don't have that. So,
Got it. So are you
so
saying
how
then? Sorry. So are you saying then it's sort of like when the man is trying to be vulnerable and the woman is like
he's
not
perceived
have?
as weak. He's perceived as
Mm-hmm.
weak.
Yeah.
I mean, so the man in a relationship, and that's why as we talk about healthy masculinity, how does a man in a relationship who has emotional needs that are not being met because his partner is not cognizant that he has those needs? As a matter of fact, if he expresses those needs, she may see him as a failure as a man. He's not supposed to be in
Mm-hmm.
that space. How does a
Yeah.
guy work through that?
But that's a really great question. And you know what's funny is I have been in that space. My husband is very sensitive. I love him so much and he's I am the male a lot of the time. Like I carry the male energy a lot. And yeah,
Hmm.
my husband has moments when he feels, work has been really stressful and he just needs to he gets very vulnerable with me. And in the beginning, I had no idea how to be with.
Mm.
I was so uncomfortable with it.
Uh-huh.
I was, I up to this point I'd been dating alpha men who were very guarded and very macho, and now I'm dating this guy or married to this man who's the complete opposite, and I was so uncomfortable with it. And
Mm.
the only thing that I can say right now is perhaps consider that there may be something that they're not doing to allow their partner to be vulnerable. Like they're
Mm.
wanting it for themselves, but are they being the change that they wish to see? Are they giving what it is that they're looking to receive?
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a powerful question, Janelle, because, as I'm here listening to you and maybe even my listeners, you know, I've had interaction with a lot of men who this is the song that they sing. My partner
Mm,
expects me to provide for them, but I have nowhere to go. And that's why a lot of men they run away into the bushes, they go hunt, they go drink, they go, but they isolate for a long time, because out there
mm,
they feel safe. When they're at home, if they display those emotions, then their women perceive them as weak, that they feel. Even
mm,
society sometimes pushes
mm,
men in that corner.
mm.
So how does a guy? I mean, that's a pretty tough one there.
And Rolando, like that is exactly why I do what I do. Is
Mm.
because men don't. And listen, I have to say, I have a soft side for men. Like I feel for men because women do not make it easy. We do not make it easy, and we have our own stuff that we're dealing with. We're
Why can't
dealing
you
with our
guys make it
own.
easier though? I mean,
No, we can't. It's just, and I have been divorced. I don't know if I told you that, but I've also gone
Mm-hmm.
through a divorce. And
Mm-hmm.
looking back at it and what all the mistakes I made, that was one of the things that I saw about myself, was that I
Mm-hmm.
did not take responsibility for the state and the condition of my relationship. I put it all on the
Wow.
other person to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And yeah.
And is that normally is the easier way out, eh? If you would change, the relationship would be fantastic. Because I'm kind of the
Mm.
perfect one here. So,
Yeah.
Gina, let me
Totally.
ask you, solutions. How do we empower our men to, what are some of the solutions? What are some of the ideas that you think we could leave
Yeah.
with our guys tonight to go against some of those
Yeah.
obstacles?
I think remembering what the three basic needs of women are, right? They want
What
to
are they?
feel, well, they first of all, they want to feel special and loved and cherished, right? They want to feel important to you. Okay, number one. Number two, women need to feel safe and that they can trust you. So a lot of what I get is men saying to me, like, my woman doesn't want to have sex with me, she rejects me, all of this stuff. But what they forget is they probably have not set it up to create a safe space for their woman to be
Mm,
open to allowing her body to be available to her husband. If she does not feel safe, whether that's externally or within the relationships, like it could be a work related thing and stress and kids, but it also could be inside the relationship. If she doesn't feel safe, then she's not going to be up for that. It's going to
mm,
probably be the last thing on her mind, right?
mm.
I think
Wow.
also knowing what your partner's love language is. What is it that what is it that you used to do or that you do now that you get a positive reaction? What makes her
Mm,
smile? What are the actions that you do that brings her closer to you? So you just really want to pay attention, right? Pay
hmm,
attention to what she reacts to. I would say number three is make her feel, tell her how awesome she is every day. Because I
hmm,
guarantee you that she doesn't love herself very much if she's not being the partner that she's meant to be. There's something
hmm,
in the way, because inherently women want to be loved, but there's just something that's they're afraid, just as men are, about opening their heart. They so badly want to, but they're afraid of getting hurt, just like guys. And so that's
hmm,
that you're talking about the more masculine woman who doesn't allow her husband to be to take on a feminine energy. There's something she's afraid of, and there's something that hasn't been completed or been worked out, I guess, that has her feel like she has to hold up that shield or that wall, that she can't actually be vulnerable and not and have the space to allow her man to be vulnerable.
hmm. Wow, man, Janelle, this sounds like a lot to take in.
There's a lot.
Sounds
I
like,
know there's
yeah,
so much.
yeah. It sounds like a lot to take in because then there's a cultural piece around that, and historically, we become creatures of our environment, and the stuff that you're saying here sounds like there are things that no, I've got to go back and re, reconnect and reassess my approach to how I operate in my relationship, and
Mm.
definitely, yeah, wow, this is amazing, Janelle. Janelle, where can we find you if one of our listeners want to connect with you? Do you have any intellectual property that's out? How can we connect with you from now? I didn't warn
Mm.
you. I should have told you before at the start that once you become a part of the XY Spark family, we're going to be knocking on your door occasionally if we have guys say, "Hey, Rolando, I really love that. How do I find her?" So we're just warning you ahead.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, I could talk about this stuff forever. I feel like we've only touched the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so first of all, you can visit my website, which is JanelleGreene.com, which is just my name. Or
Mm-hmm.
I also have a Facebook group that you guys might be interested. It's called the Happy Wives Project, and it's an
Mm.
all men's group where I provide coaching. People can ask advice. People can get. I have interviews there about how to forgive, about sex, about intimacy, all of those juicy topics. And I bring my husband there once in a while too, because people always want to know, who is this man who is just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah. And so those are probably the best ways to get a hold of me.
Okay, Janelle, you know what? It would be, I think it would be unbalanced if we don't, as a relationship coach, because there are a lot of relationships where the men struggle with sex and with intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
There are some men who are saying, Rolando, it's not frequent enough. It's once a week or once a month, or how do I get, you know, what advice
Mm-hmm.
would you give to the men as it relates to ways that they can initiate more or have more intimacy in the relationship?
Yeah. Well, I would say the first thing I think about is, be a leader in your relationship. Think about, if you think about a strong leader, what are the what are some of their values, right? They listen, they're humble, they're generous, they're a team player, and they're always curious about how they can improve things. I think so many women, especially, again, going back to what we were talking about with, the Me Too and the more masculine women, we love to be in control. But at the same time, it's actually detrimental to the relationship, because a lot of men go, okay, so she wants to take control. I'm going to take a back seat now. And then all of a sudden, the woman looks around and goes, where did he go? I don't see him.
Mm,
And she's
mm,
looking for that partnership. She's looking for that support, and he's nowhere to be found. And he's, having his drink in front of the TV, playing video games. And that can really cause a lot of resentment. So,
mm.
my advice would be, first of all, don't let her make all the decisions. And you know what? It's okay to have boundaries, but what's so important is to have communication. And you just want to notice, where is it that you shut down? Where is it that you block her out? Because that's what drives a woman crazy, you
Mm,
know? And at the
mm,
end of the day, what men really want is, that intimacy. But if a woman does not feel, again, going back to feeling safe, if a woman doesn't feel like you love her and cherish her as a woman, she's going to feel used. She's going to feel just like your sperm bank, right? And she's never going to, she may have sex with you, but she's not going to enjoy it.
mm,
She will almost like force herself not to enjoy it, just on principle.
mm,
And so I
mm.
really think just reminding her how much she's loved, how much you appreciate her, and really, when you're thinking about the intimacy part, don't think about it just from the moment that you go into the bedroom. You really want to start the process early in the day. Do
Mm.
sweet things for her. Send her a text. Do something that help her out in the house. Do something that would really have her feel loved, and that she has a partnership. And take your
Okay.
time building that intimacy. Invite her into a shower, run her a bath. Like, women love that. Just say, honey, would you love a bath? I
Mm,
can get you a glass of wine. She will die if you do it. Her mouth will just drop open. Get the
okay.
kids handled. Get some music, get some candles, put in the effort. I know that, like, my first marriage, I just want to share quickly. My first marriage failed because as soon as we got married, my husband stopped doing all of the things he used to do for me, including
Mm,
going to church, including going to see my family, including showering. He just stopped all of those things. And so
mm,
if you've been with your partner for a really long time, look at the things that you used to do for her that she really loved, and continue to do that. Remind her
mm,
how sexy she is. Spend time
mhm,
doing foreplay, rub her back, make eye contact, kiss her while you're making love. Don't just it be about penetration and about you getting off. Because if you can take care of her needs and that she has an amazing experience, she will want to do it all the time. Like, me and my husband did it last night. This morning, I woke up and said, baby, last night was awesome. I'm going to want some more tonight. And he's like, absolutely.
There you go. That's great.
So
You
there
know,
you go.
yeah, Janelle, it's great because, and these are things, Janelle, believe it or not, in our society, in our community, people don't talk about sex and those stuff because I think the idea behind it is, you shouldn't talk about it. It's not a topic, and so it's really important. And I like all the things that you put out there because men need to understand that hey, if we're going to have happy, healthy, functioning sex lives, we want to do our part. And I'm hoping that all those who are listening in or those who will be listening later will take note and go off and start doing something differently. The piece I love about what you said, and as a therapist, when I talk to couples, I use that same language. What are some of the things that you used to do that have stopped? Maybe it's time you reintroduce that if you really want to work on this relationship. So thank you for saying that, Janelle. That is so wonderful to hear. Thank you, Janelle. You know what? We don't want to take up all your afternoon. We like to keep it short, sweet, spicy. You have given us so much already. We would be a rather ungrateful if we stretched you out anymore. But we love all that you said, and Janelle, we want you to know that you are more than welcome to come back on XY Spark again for us to continue the
Absolutely.
conversation. You know,
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
So thank you so much, Janelle, for being here, and we want you to continue to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We want to say thank you to all our guests that joined us on our live podcast here, and we just continue to encourage you to like, share, and remember you can find Janelle at JanelleGreene.com. She has a beautiful Facebook page as well, Happy Wives Project, where you can go find that and get some of the work that she's doing. And Janelle, in the meantime, you keep safe, keep doing the great work that you're doing, and we will connect with you again next time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye for now, Janelle.
Please join Rolando next time on XY Spark as he engages us in practical discussions that promotes healthy masculinity and challenge men to live extraordinary lives. At XY Spark, we believe the key for happier families is restoring healthy masculinity.